Hey folks, this is Kalani. Welcome back to the Nighthold raid guide for normal and heroic. This time we'll be looking at the Chronomatic Anomaly. This chap has a few nasty abilities which all revolve around time and the Nightwell. His main ability is being able to change the passage of time. He can literally speed up or slow down the world and everything around you. This affects your movement speed, cooldown speed, cast times, everything. Throughout the fight you'll go between normal time, slowed down time, sped up time, and back to normal time. The boss will also be affected by the time shift, so when you're slow, he'll cast abilities slower, and when you're fast, he'll cast abilities faster. Your tanks are going to have a debuff to juggle called Chromatic Particles. This is a simple damage over time spell which stacks. If you reach 10 stacks, you'll explode, dealing a hefty amount of raid-wide damage and killing yourself in the process. Tanks need to swap this debuff before it reaches 10 stacks, so make sure to taunt when your stacks have fallen off. The passage of time will affect how quickly this debuff stacks, so the number to swap at will vary depending on the current speed that your time is going at. Burst of Time is a large orange orb which is thrown at random players. Simply stay spread out and avoid the swirls on the ground to avoid all of the damage. There's also going to be temporal orbs coming from the Nightwell in the middle of the room. These are pretty easy to avoid as they come in a very pretty pattern, just make sure you're not going to be smushed between those and the bursts of time. The boss will also throw out time bombs. These bombs will explode after a short duration and deal a huge amount of raid-wide AoE damage. That damage is reduced the further away the bomb is, so if you get targeted with a time bomb, make sure you run out of the group before it explodes. The healers will also have to deal with an ability called Time Release. This is a fairly straightforward healing absorption effect which explodes for raid-wide damage depending on how much of the absorption effect is left when it expires. Healers need to heal this up as much as possible before it expires to limit the damage. Throughout the fight you will also have an ad spawn called Waning Time Particle. This ad needs to get nuked down as quickly as possible because it chain casts an ability called Warp Nightwell. It's an AoE which does a large amount of damage and increases in damage for every cast they get off. You can interrupt the ad when it's above 30% health, but it becomes immune to interrupts when it dips below that. Nuke the ad down and they're not too much trouble, but when this big ad dies it will spawn 4 smaller ads as well as a temporal rift. The fragmented time particles will also cast Warp Nightwell, so interrupt them as much as possible and nuke them down quickly. The temporal rift is very important because it's the only way you can interrupt the boss's final ability, Power Overwhelming. The boss will start to channel the Nightwell and deal a huge amount of AoE damage which increases with every pulse. This ability can be really painful for your healers, but the boss doesn't do anything during the channel. That means it's a free DPS phase for as long as your healers can keep you alive. If the damage is getting too much, have your tank pick up the temporal rift and they will gain a temporal charge. That charge allows them to use temporal smash. This is the only way to interrupt Power Overwhelming. When the boss is interrupted, he will also take 30% extra damage for 15 seconds, so make sure to save a few cooldowns. And that's it. Managing the ads is very important in this fight, and keeping track of how fast time is moving will be the difference between a clean kill and a wipe. But that should be everything you need to take down the Chronomatic Anomaly on normal and heroic. If you have any questions or queries, please leave them in the comment section below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Feel free to check out any of my other guides for Nighthold as they become available. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.